Good afternoon. I'm Edith Wong, Chief Marketing Officer at Invest Hong Kong. Thank you for joining Invest Hong Kong's webinar on AI and education today. Artificial intelligence can help us solve some of the most difficult challenges and create a safer, healthier, and more prosperous world for all. There are exciting possibilities in the fields of healthcare and agriculture, but there may be no area where the possibilities are more interesting or more important than education and skills. Today, Fred Shiu, National Technology Officer from Microsoft Hong Kong, will be sharing the trends and best practices in AI in education and resources that Microsoft provides to school leaders and educators to empower the next generation to be AI ready. Fred supports policy decision and delivers technologically relevant and scalable solutions into Hong Kong market. His main objectives are to align IT value propositions to public policies in areas such as healthcare, education, the environment, and local social and economic development, and to promote a digital agenda in top policy areas, including innovation, security and privacy, technology accessibility, etc. Some housekeeping information. You can send your questions using the chat window. We will be addressing them during the Q&A section. Over to you, please, Fred.
Hey, thanks, Edith, for the very good, nice introductions. So if someone let me share my screen. There we go. Great. Okay, again, Fred here. So tonight, thanks Invest Hong Kong for organizing this very meaningful event, actually, to share what Microsoft been doing in the area of both AI, especially in the education sector as well. So this is actually my very aggressive agenda for the next 30 minutes or so. I hope I can cover like the fourth industry revolution and how it's actually affecting the education industry. TED or EdTech, okay, many people actually were confused on these two terms. So give the audience a little bit insight on what are the difference between these two areas, and also look at how AI is actually applied as a technology in education, learning, and teaching, and also give you some example on Microsoft technology to address that area. And last but not the least, actually touch a bit on, as requested by Invest Hong Kong, what are we doing in actual response to COVID-19 impacts, especially offering like the remote learning. Actually, many people actually talking about that in not just Hong Kong, but all over the world, how remote learning actually, or distance learning, how to counter this COVID-19 impact. For this social distancing issues. So hopefully I can actually wrap it up in half an hour and give some time for Q&A. So before I start, actually, just give our audience a bit background on what we have been doing, what we have done in the past almost 20 years now in helping or supporting the education bureau in Hong Kong. So about less than 2 years ago, we actually signed our fourth agreement, if you like, with the bureau to jointly promote IT learning, especially. So each agreement, by the way, lasts for about 5 years. So about a year and a half ago, we actually renewed our fourth agreement, which has been running for almost like 18 years. So in a nutshell, the agreement allow all the students and teachers, as well as school, of course, in Hong Kong to use Microsoft what we call Office for Education's license or technology for free. So actually, we can't give away all this very good, software, and allows school administrator as well as like a student to use the basic level of our software for the last like over 18 years now. So for the fourth, obviously, agreement, we actually cover a couple of new areas. In addition to like software, I would say a giveaway, we actually offer training to enable teachers so that they will know how to actually use our technology for teaching and learning, and as well as actually work with the Bureau to actually put together some what called STEM or teaching element into the, hopefully we'll put that into a curriculum in the futures, as well as help schools to actually protect their IT infrastructure through cybersecurity, learning applications, as well as like a digital literacy area. So it's a big investment. I would say probably no vendor in the world actually invests that much resources to support education in anywhere in the world. So that's what Microsoft been doing for last year. I'll say more than a decade. So we've moved back last decade, but I moved to actually last several centuries. We look at what industry revolution been evolving. And everybody know we are now falling to what called the fourth industrial revolution. So in the previous industrial revolution actually is driven by new technology or new I would say disruptive, like either technology or research around like steam or water mechanic to actually boost the productions. Like the factory start using electricity to actually replace some of the I would say labor incentive work to increase the productions. In the I would say in the 20th century, actually there like with introduction of IT, information technology, internet, and a lot of factory actually start automate their production line. So in 21st century or the fourth industry revolution actually start back about 4 years ago. In actually, I think the term start from Germany. They actually really by taking I would say by taking advantage of the latest technologies such as AI, machine learning, robotic, and IoT. They actually immerse this like a manufacturing practice using kind of like immersing this like a physical virtual factory into one piece, so that we believe that will boost up all the I would say change the entire I would say dynamic of manufacturing I would say industry. So for this industry revolution, I think not just disrupt the whole I would say industry itself, but also require new skill to actually address the change in not just the manufacturing environment, but entire economic or societal environment as well. So we look at the world in the business world, actually look at the business world. So all this change and all those requirements in this fourth industry revolution is really changing the way we work, the way what the system want to do. Like for example, most of the time our architecture, hierarchies in the organization more like a top-down. So each team actually work as a silo, but now actually everybody work as a team. What called networking, I would say, relationship built within every team. And also competition actually is really addressing market share, how you actually compete and win a single market or same market. And now, with the industry revolution, the fourth industry revolution, people actually using technology to create a new market to actually rather than capture other people's like market. And also, the skill industry is a bit different. Like in the previous generation, people actually stay in the same job for like 10, 20, or 30 years. And now, actually, we see people actually have more than like 10 jobs by age of 40. So the dynamics is actually different. But when you apply to education, we also see industry interesting trend. So like in the classroom itself, it's like instead of like a teacher teach in the teacher-led classroom, and now it's many people, many schools teach in what they call project-based learning. So you just give a topic to a group of students, they actually can come back with like very interesting results and give you a very nice presentation as well. Traditional classroom, like the teacher-led lecture, teacher initiate topic, this actually changed the way they actually treat it. Now they call flipped classroom. That is actually, teacher don't really give away, teach anything. It's actually give a topic to student, and student actually can learn and do research themselves through like a video or online searching and come back and in the classroom and not really to listen to what the teacher teach, but really to discuss their result or research and actually collaborate a whole project between students and teacher and so on. So the learning is already different. Like in the past, it's also always like you learn something in the classroom and go back and study your books and you actually perform well in testing. Now is all learning is about collaborative. They will actually do teamwork, team projects. And also in the past, even now, a lot of learning is not really tailored for individuals. So whether this personalized learning actually is very important, or with the help of technology, and we see the possibility with what we call personalized learning is actually coming more closer to real thing now. So if we move on to the what we see in the futures, the engine that actually power our economy and our societal movement is actually around this what we call 4 areas of technology. Definitely, artificial intelligence is actually what we already see and happening in the world. And Internet of Things, IoT, with the introduction of 5G in Hong Kong and also in the world, we will see a lot more IoT applications going to introduce the market. Mixed reality is actually, combining VR and AR into what we call a mixed reality. A lot of application in education as well. So it allows people to see the world that they probably not able to go to, and can actually explore anything that's possible through this mixed reality application. Blockchain and quantum actually is coming. So this is actually the technology that our generation are facing when they graduate today. So it's a new expectation, and I don't know if you hear this, like a new, I don't know what we call this generation in school now, generation like ZY or X, and now they have a new term called phygital. Phygital generation is actually a generation they actually unwillingly and unable to draw a distinction between the physical world and its digital equivalent. So with a lot of like, we actually describe this generation of this young generation. It's really they engage a digital environment, a virtual environment, probably more than a physical environment. So they actually have a chance to reach a lot of things that in our generation or in previous generation not able to reach. So you looked at the impact of the skill. Okay, with this fourth industry revolution. There's some study, although some of them are a little bit older, but they still relevant and valid. Just highlight that. So VTC actually in Hong Kong did what they call manpower survey. I think every 2 years they have a manpower survey. So this year I think they have one. I haven't seen published yet, but I picked up 1-2 years ago. They actually look at how many IT practitioners in Hong Kong at that time. It's about close to like 95,000 of them. And they estimate at each year we need about 4,500 IT graduates from university or like higher ed institutes in Hong Kong. But if you look at number of university in Hong Kong multiplied by number of computer science students, so my estimation is each year is no more than 2,000 IT graduates as of today. So definitely is a shortage of IT professional now and also in the next few years. And also there's a World Economic Forum also estimate by year 2025, there are 70% of the job will require some sort of IT skill. So that's actually significant. And also there's WEF also estimate, also saying that the children actually go to primary school today, 65% of them actually they will end up with a job that does not exist today. So that's also interesting. So but that's very true. Like even if you look at, I don't know what the age group profile of the audience now in this room, but if you look at my generation, when I was in not even primary school, even high school, so all this job that does not exist when I graduate from university. So today is like a job title like data scientist or compliance manager. In my time or in 20 years ago, does not exist anymore. but in the future, it's the same thing applied to students in private school today. So switch a little bit back to the technology for education, or EdTech or TechEd. So what we're looking at technology for education is more in line with the education bills, like what we call IT in education. It's really how to leverage technology to help in school. So IT and for education is really about technology enabling teaching and learning experience in classroom. It's really like if I just bring up some bullet to describe what technology for education is. It's really what we want from that is ability to pay more attention to each student by giving more focus time on using technology, efficiency and fun for learning process, give them more opportunity to space for creativity, and allow them to really learn outside of school, as well as like helping saving teachers time from their routine procedures. Instead of using pen, they can actually use computer to actually automate some of the tasks, so they allow them to do more focus on learning outcomes. Improving efficiency, reliability, and safety of education institutions using IT, and last but not least is actually using technology to help to be more inclusive and diversity, so that everybody can actually learn regardless of your level of skill or your disability, availability, capabilities. So on the other hand, is education for technologies, or it's more, a lot of people refer that to like a STEM, on how to teach students on IT. It's really from, if I want to pick some like a descriptive, I would say, a sentence to describe this area, is really how we actually, what we need to do to prepare our students and for our futures with the skill they need. It's more on the skill training, more on the like a curriculum development. Even though those curriculum have to meet what our economy require in the futures. And then using technology, or teaching with technology with curiosity, and also arouse the interest in technology as well. Gamification is actually important, especially for like a younger age of student. So you really want to use gamifications, like I would say feature and functions, to allow them to learn IT, especially on coding. Also connect class experience with real world concepts. That's important. So they can give them project that can address, for example, the UN sustainability development goals. Is where a lot of interesting IT or STEM projects that we can actually encourage students to use, and also use the IT, or say a workshop or competition type of activity to actually arouse the interest in learning IT, or learning STEM, or learning to learn coding and also. So this is actually a simple, I would say, summary of what the difference between EdTech and TechEd. So because of this, like I would say, enormous requirement on EdTech or TechEd. Okay, so we see a lot of company in 2019. There are many technology company develop solution products to address this market. So this is actually a report extract from one of the analysts. It's like the top 200. These are all logos or products or solutions that actually address both like tech for education, or education for technologies. So okay, let me switch the topic a little bit to AI. So I assume people already know what AI is. So we've been like been around for quite a long time, by the way. It's actually since 60s, like the first AI system was introduced by Alan Turing. And it's like I would say, but at that time, Turing machine is so expensive, and probably only one or two research institutes can afford that. But with evolution of like computing technology, data, and also our power cloud, I would say, AI become more, I would say, popular or common or pervasive, and actually see a lot of people actually using AI almost every day. Probably they don't even know that. But in a nutshell, how we define AI is more like a technology that can perceive, learn, and actually reason to extend the capability of human or we call like a, I'll say supplement human ingenuity. That's what AI intend to do. So when you want to define AI, it's more like a technology can act like a human being. That technology itself can see things, hear things, read things, or move things around like a robot and find reason out of the data to actually collect. So, and many AIs actually related to what they call cognition. So a lot of cognitive service, like use computer to see things. So it's vision, knowledge, language, and speech to text, and text to speech. So these are all about AI technology. So, and how AI actually apply in the classroom. There are many use cases. I probably just highlight some of them. First one is actually AI actually sometimes embed into many tools, okay, that the school or student teacher use. A lot of people may not even know, but they already embed in the classroom to assist with teaching and learning. So IT learning and then embed AI feature in those tools is very proper use case. The other use case is actually using digital assessment or evaluation using AI to do that. Last, and I would say ultimately, AI can actually offer what we call personalized learning or adaptive learning system to actually to give them a different, like I would say, curriculum or learning path based on students' capability and availability. So that's what the AI spectrum that can allow in education. So as I mentioned, a lot of people say AI is real, or I don't think it's actually happening. So I just want to demonstrate to you, and sometimes just don't know AI is actually available. I just want to see a raise of hand. How many of you actually use a Microsoft product? I'll say how many people are not using any Microsoft products, such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint? Yeah, so I'm sure you all use it. But do you know that PowerPoint actually has interesting features called Subtitle? So Subtitle is actually the features that we embed in PowerPoint that allow people with a hearing imperative can actually see and understand what I'm presenting by transcripting what I'm speaking underneath PowerPoint slide. Can you see that? Okay, so is that impressive enough? So if it's not impressive enough, I can actually translate this from English to, I see some Japanese in this room. Shall I use Japanese? Yeah? Okay. Let me see if I can find Japanese. Oh, I can find Japanese here. So this is going to translate my English into Japanese. So the Japanese audience, I hope you don't laugh if it does not translate 100% correctly. But anyway, this just show you the, I'll say, how this like technology work by include the daily use product that we actually offer to the market. So let me move on. So when I say we actually offer all our classroom tools for all students to be used in the classroom, many of these features are actually specialized or tailor-made for classroom. So the version of Office product that we actually give to class is a little bit different than what we normally do in the office. So some features actually tailor-made for classroom, for teaching and learning. For example, when class Lookbook allow people to share information and give mark, give score, and actually give away assignment and actually do the result and so on. So this is another demonstration feature. I probably will not do a demo here, but I don't know if you realize when you create your PowerPoint slide, if you want to if you think your slide do not look good, you can actually ask PowerPoint to give you some idea to actually make your slide look nicer. So all this idea is actually based on what we call machine learning with a similar PowerPoint slide that our PowerPoint actually seen, and then I recommend you what it look like to make your PowerPoint look better. So this is actually the tools that we actually offer to class. So we call quiz or call Microsoft Forms. So it's actually teachers can actually create a quiz and then send this quiz to the class notebook. So each student can actually answer based on that. And the interesting thing, the AI component of that is for each quiz that the teacher actually put up, the system itself can recommend 10 or 20 similar quiz. So the teacher do not have to go back to actually look up other questions in their pocket. So we automatically suggest a similar question to test your students' capability or the learning, I would say, result. Oh, this is actually very interesting features. I don't know if you have seen that. And we actually can put this into many of our tools already now. So this is what called the learning tools. So it's actually designed for students with like a kind of dyslexia, I'll say in disability. So I'm not sure if you know that in the world, about 10% of students, they actually suffer from some kind of like some degree of dyslexia. So they are not able to read efficiently and learn language in just like as good as other people. So this tool is actually, let me see if I can demo it. So for example, this is like this is a lookbook. Okay, you open the lookbook, you can actually when you turn on this like a new immersive reader, you can actually can.
The Renaissance was a fervent period of European cultural, artistic, political, and economic rebirth following the Middle Ages.
Yeah, it's not just able to read it, but for people who cannot like focus and see it, you can actually change the color so it can allow students have a more focus in reading. And also there's a grammar actually checking, not rechecking, a grammar, I would say, support area. So once you turn on the syllabus, you can actually see how this word should read. And then you can actually turn on the grammar tag. So we can see the word, if it's a nouns, it actually give you a different color. It's a verbs, it give you another color. It's an adjective or adverbs. So this is actually helping people with difficulty to read and to understand different language with tools that help to do it. So not just that, it also gives you what they call a dictionary. Okay, it's a dictionary. Because you give a student a dictionary, if they don't understand the word, they don't understand English, they still don't understand what it means, right? But if I give it what called Pictionary, okay, if it's global, I give you a global picture, so you understand what global is. Okay, so it's the same thing with this exploration and also open. Okay, what it means by open. It not just give you a subject, but also give you action to open something. Okay, so this is all AI. Okay, so our design idea, I actually talk about that, so I'm not going to spend any time on that. Okay. Oops, sorry. So that's another interesting I would say solution, but features that we call Microsoft Stream. Stream actually is actually Stream actually is like I would say video repository. So in the classroom, if the teacher want to record what they teach in the classroom, they can actually upload all this in the video repository. And in this video repository, it can actually do let the student know the face recognition, identify who's the speaker in that video clip, and also give auto transcript of this like video, so the teachers do not have to type all everything. So actually, this product itself can actually understand the language from the video and actually give a transcript in that as well. Okay, this is another interesting solution we call Microsoft Xiaoying. Actually, this is actually the mobile app that actually we developed for China. Okay, in China, many students want to learn English. So this is actually an app that allowed students to actually read to their phone, and then based on their input or I would say the reading, it gives you score and actually make some new recommendation or suggestion on how your English learning path should be. So very popular applications, more than million download in China already. So for student, remember there's another application. Okay, so I picked this school. That's all right. It's this St. Stephen's School College is already in public domain. So so the teacher, the IT teacher, actually create an app based on what we call Power BI from the package they offer to school. They actually extract data from WebSams. WebSams actually is the student data actually collect from the Education Bureau. They actually based on the historical grading of each student and each subject and each class, is actually can create a model, not just reporting back to the student or the parent of school on the grading of individual students, subject or class. They also is able to do some prediction on what the outcome should look like. So for example, student, the grading is moving this way. So the chances of that grade to move up and low is at that point of time. So allow teachers make, I would say, decision or get more insight to offer support and help for the individual student or class or teachers. So they can actually move further, creating dashboard for the entire administrator as well. So that's another example, actually using AI tools based on the grading data. They can actually train a model to actually predict what the individual students grading moving forward as well. Okay, so a lot of application in that area. So another example is actually based on the I would say attributes that we collect from either observation of teachers or schools. They actually can look at different students that I would say behavior or area of improvement. If only 2 persons or 2 students, it's very easy for teachers to do something to actually rectify or help the student to achieve a better learning outcome. But if you look at like more students, like an entire class, let's say 24 people in one class, it's still all right for one teacher to actually come up with actions to help their students. But you look at the entire school, talk about hundreds of students, it's actually impossible for teachers to actually look at individual students, like I would say attributes and develop some actions or to respond to each student. So using AI or technology definitely is the way we need to rely on. So there's some ethical or I would say observations when using technology for, I would say, for example, for student administration, for school, I would say grading, predictions, and so on. So there's some recommendations. For example, monitoring should be agreed by students and their parent. Data should be used on the purpose of what we need to do. It's more on the privacy observations. The data we store should be only used at the perfect time, and also no decision regarding students should be made automatically and solely on the basis of automated system. And that bullet is actually important. So we never actually, even let's say machine learning or AI is almost in our daily life. But if for some decision is actually I would say affecting the students, I would say outcome. In terms of like promotion or demotion, or actually putting student in different, like I would say, subject. This kind of decision you cannot 100% rely on AI. People still must be in the loop, even in the final decision loop. The AI is kind of like assist or supporting the decision-making process. So all systems must be carefully reviewed and ensure that no explicit or implicit discrimination of any sort. So data must be debiased before put into the training system, and data must be securely stored and actually compliant with any local law, including the PCPO audience in Hong Kong. So actually that is actually all I want to share on the AI for educations. And because like Invest Hong Kong asked me to share what we do to support the COVID-19 in school, I would say we're probably the first organization to actually take action on this when they hear this school going to close, and on the very last day of Chinese New Year in like the end of January. So we actually are come up with a lot of program, including a training program to actually get more teachers and students understand how to use our technology, free resources for educators and parents to actually pick up so that they know what to do with the remote learning, I would say, tools that we offer to them. The third area is like we offer free support. So despite I mentioned that we offer free software for every school to use our technology for remote learning or for school, there's still many schools do not use it due to like they don't have I would say technical capability or technical support. So we actually offer free technical support to help all the schools on board of our technology if they need it. And we also extend the Minecraft. I'm sure many people are happy with like Minecraft, but Minecraft education actually is another version that comes with a really full suite of learning path on STEM to teach, I would say, our students to arouse their interest on IT and on STEM. That we actually offer the free version of that until June this year. So this is actually the team usage. I'm not going to spend too much time there. Just want to impress you after the action we take the adoption of Teams. By the way, Teams actually is like a remote voice, like a video conferencing tools, just like what we're doing now, like Zoom. So Teams is an alternative. Actually, a lot of schools actually now they actually offer Teams as another alternative to Zoom for video conferencing. So for just last month, I think the usage of team meeting is growing from 900 million to 2.7 billion. I mean, meeting minute every day. It's 300% growth within like a couple of weeks of time. That's a worldwide number. So in Hong Kong, we also see like a similar, I would say, growth in terms of team hours. So just go back to what we do in supporting this COVID-19. So a lot of webinar, we work together with like an education bureau, with like an educational, I would say, association in Hong Kong to actually promote the use of Teams and Office. This is actually the resources for parents and teachers, okay, and lot of information there. So I don't know how many of you are from teaching institutes in Hong Kong, but if you are like schools are registered as like a education like an institute, you actually are free to use our technology. So if you don't know how to get it, send email to hkedu@microsoft.com or go to this like form. We just send an email to them or send a contact to using this form, and we will have technical people to contact you to support you on board Teams and Microsoft. So my final words, okay, is actually just recap this word called phygital. So what phygital means like is our students and our students in school today are actually getting a lot of information, and they actually they actually do not spend a lot of time to really they actually rather spend less number of time by getting more information to support what they really want to learn. Okay, so perhaps the most important objective for schools today is actually development of rationality. So how to actually teach students to rationalize the thing they learn, the thing they read, the thing they see from all over the world, including the digital world and physical world. And graduates should be critical of the information they actually collect. They should be able to analyze and make independent and informed decision based on the information they receive from this digital world. So that's all I want to share. So hopefully I cover all this like 4 topics that we cover, and let's work together for our future together. So I'll stop here and see if I have any question from the audience.
Fred, for this very insightful sharing and the very interesting demo on the PowerPoint, which we are actually working on a redesign for Invest Hong Kong at the moment. Maybe we should also invite you to share some of the tips. But one quick question from our audience is that during the transcription process at PowerPoint, can it also manage in Cantonese? Because spoken Cantonese is a bit different from written Chinese.
Yes, good question. I've been asking for that for a long time. So unfortunately, we don't have Cantonese yet, but Mandarin is there. So if you want to try it, Mandarin is already there. But Cantonese will be there, but not yet. Okay.
Right. Okay.
For the reading example I just showed earlier, we call Immerse Reader. Cantonese is there. Cantonese is supported. But for PowerPoint I assume you're talking about this PowerPoint transcript.
Yes.
Not there yet. But for Immerse Reader, for other reader, Cantonese is always there.
Right, thank you. A second question is from Alan. To master the skills in conducting courses by teachers, what would be your tips for these teachers to upskill? And how can schools help the teachers in this regard?
Oh, okay, good question. Because when we actually are kind of like a work with Education Bureau to kind of donate our software to allow every school to use, we actually realize, both us and Education Bureau realize, we don't just give away the software to the organization. The most important thing is they know how to use that, right? So what we do is actually work with the Bureau to organize what they call PDP training in like a bi-weekly basis now. So if you go to EDB's website, you can actually register to our training event. It's about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours every 2 weeks. So you can actually learn from our expert on how to use the tools. But that's still not very, I would say, very effective, because sometimes people just cannot find time to visit those physical events. So we have a program called Microsoft Innovative Educator, MIE. So if you go to Microsoft website, can always sign up to, if you're teachers, of course, you can sign up to MIE program. So this program is actually an online community with a lot of online learning asset. So we encourage all the teachers in Hong Kong to be a member of that. I'm happy to report today in Hong Kong is close to 900 what we call MIEs already. And if you're good, you are extremely good in MIE, you have to gain your MIE status in order by like taking a certain number of hours of training from there. But if you're real good, you give another level of MIE called expert. So it's an MIE expert. Okay, in Hong Kong, it's about 40, having less than 50 of them. So it's not easy to get, but if you get this status, we put it in another community, which is like MIEE community. So we got another level of, I would say, status and learning opportunity to also share best practice among the community itself. So I would say the best way to learn is, of course, if you have no idea, your first time to learn this thing, MIE, go to our website, look for Microsoft Innovative Educator, sign up to get this like a MIE status. And once you actually are familiar with that community, join our MIEE, I would say, community in Hong Kong, and actually within this expert group, you learn everything from there. So these teachers, I mean, they are MIEE, they actually know better than me. They actually use our tool. They use our tools every day for teaching and learning, right? So all these tricky, I'll say, features, I don't even know, but they do know. They do share. So that's the best way to learn, I would say. I hope I answered the question.
Well, thank you, Fred. There is another question. Is there any work relating to mixed reality production from Microsoft?
Yeah, we have a product. If you're familiar with our product set, the product is called, like in Windows, there's a mixed reality, I would say, plugin. So if you're a developer, you can actually call this a mixed reality toolkit. So develop some mixed reality, I would say, program. So, but if you're more advanced, we have a product called HoloLens. Well, HoloLens is like a immersed, like a glass. We actually can combine AR and VR in the same thing. So unfortunately, I don't have that with me. So this is another, I would say, toolkit or development toolkit to help you to develop application leveraging that. So if anyone is familiar with VR or AR development, You just use your standard, I would say, development tools and just port to this HoloLens or Microsoft mixed reality. It's pretty straightforward.
Well, thank you. One last question. From a leadership and strategic planning standpoint, what are the main barriers to embedding and implementing AI in schools?
Yeah, I think it's in school is no different from enterprise or even government, right? So I've been working in AI this area for the last few years, especially in Hong Kong. Many enterprise or even government or SME school, I would say a lot of successful case, but still there are many unsuccessful case. And the whole reason of AI is not very successful in some organization, I think, due to a couple of things. One is like AI is not just one single technology or point technology. In order for AI to be successful implement, you have to have a whole culture to support this AI deployment with the organization. Culture is not a straightforward thing. It's really from top where you have to change entire mentality and the way they actually look at data. I would say from privacy point of view, from like ethical point of view. So it's about culture thing. The other thing is about strategy, right? You have to have a strategy in place so that you're able to implement or successfully implement AI. The third area I would say is about ethics. I talked about, I actually touched a bit on that. I did not elaborate, but ethics is another, I would say, showstopper. So a lot of people, when they design this like AI, I would say, journey or culture without seriously considering this AI ethic. So when they developed the app, they didn't realize that the use case that are probably very sensitive. When you actually implement it, you probably will touch on some privacy issue. So that may drag away your product deployment as well. So then technology, of course, is only one quarter of the equation. So of course, the organizations have to be capable to understand how to use the technology. So it's all that I would say technology, culture, strategy, as well as the ethical or responsible use of AI is important, have to be in place.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Fred, again, for so much for the wonderful and very thought-provoking presentation today. We have learned a lot indeed. And thank you to our participants who have joined us today. And please check out Invest Hong Kong's website events section for upcoming webinars and the video recordings of these webinars. Thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.